Hello, lads and lasses of National League fans. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's well on this Sunday evening. I thought I'd come back. I didn't do the preview for the games at the weekend. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to give you the review of the games over the weekend. So shall we get started? We shall indeed. First of all, I'll give you a rundown of the actual games. So first, we had Barnet up against Stockport. It ended Barnet 0, Stockport County 5. Bournemouth 3, Kings Lynn Town 1. Bromley 1, Notts County 0. Dandenong Redbridge 1, Halifax Town 3. Dover Athletic 0, Southend United 1. Grimsby Town 2, Wealdstone 1. Sully Hall Moors 5, Altrincham 0. Weymouth 0, Aldershot Town 1, Woking 0, Yeovil Town 1, Wrexham 1, Maidenhead United 1, and Eastleigh 0, Chesterfield 1. That's just a quick rundown of the results. Now we'll take a little bit from each game, just tell you a little bit about what happened. As we go back to the first game yesterday, which of course was Barnet and Stockport. Stockport obviously seriously pushing for the title, really. And they are free-flowing scorers at the moment. Barnet didn't really stand much of a chance in this one, if I'm completely honest. Stockport just basically blew them away. Barnet were competitive for about the first 40 minutes or then of the first half, and then they conceded their first goal. Bang on half time, one of the worst times to do it. When Collar got the goal, Johnson scored on 54, Hogan scored on 67, Fandancy, Connor Jennings in the 90th minute, and Johnson in injury time scores his second on 94. That absolutely took Barnet to shreds. The second time I've known Barnet lose 5-0 or heavy this year. But first time in Dean Brennan that they've really, they've really been taken to the cleaners. So Stockport, as we say at the minute, are sitting top of the table due to that win. But it can sort of it sends a message down to the rest of the challenging pack. So a great win there for Stockport County. Second result, as I said, was Bournemouth. They got a 3-1 win over struggling Kings Lynn. Bournemouth, again, they're just going about their business, aren't they? They're not, they're just. Anthony Gallard is just doing the stuff, really. A team that obviously after losing to Shimanga in the summer, I think everyone thought they'd struggle, and everyone thought they would, that they'd probably be lucky maybe to be mid-table or probably pushing top half, but no further. But oh no, they're pushing again. They did go behind in this one first off against Kings Lynn, as Linton scored on 12 minutes for Kings Lynn. And you're thinking, oh, that's a bit of a surprise. But Kings Lynn couldn't hold on. Reese scored a brace on 41 and 50 minutes. And to be completely honest, it's just absolutely. Josh Reese has been a real find for Bournemouth, and Tyrone Marsh got the goal on 61 minutes to finally seal an impressive home win for Bournemouth, not Kings Lynn. And Kings Lynn are really, they're up against it as to where they'll stay. I doubt it. They're 14 points from safety at the minute Kings Lynn. I can't see them getting out of this. Their goal difference is horrendous. But Tommy Whittington, I'm sure, will try his hardest. But it's looking bleak for Kings Lynn. But a great result for Bournemouth. They are in fifth on 49 points now. It's been such a good season again for them, and they've got 2 games in hand, or at least a game in hand on some around them. For one of them, they've got 3 games in hand, so it's it's all looking rosy for Bournemouth at the moment. The third game is Bromley. Like I said, they won 1-0 against Notts County. Bromley, I have to say, whether you like Bromley or you don't like Bromley, I don't know what Bromley's problem is with Grimsby, but there we are. But you can't take away really how difficult Bromley are to beat. They're so difficult to beat, home or away for that matter. And Jude Arthurs with the goal, which won it on the stroke of half time against the Magpies. Another great result for Bromley, and it puts them up into 4th place. Notts County have picked up 1 point from their last 2 games, with a draw against Wealdstone and then this 1-0 defeat at Bromley, sitting just outside the playoffs in 8th. But I always say, with the kind of team that Bromley are, you have to respect them. You have to respect the fan base as well. They are, would I call them a surprise package? Probably to be as high as they are, but like I said, they're always a threat when they've got people like Michael Cheek in the side and Enoch Swumney at the back, and what they are at set pieces. They're always a threat, but a good 1-0 win there for Bromley. Next, it's Halifax Town. They got a 3-1 win away at Dagenham. Quite a good result for this, really, for Halifax. It keeps them in the top 3, and well in the top 3, I would say. It was quite a win, because they opened the scoring on 19 minutes. And all I can really say is Matty Warburton got the goal and Billy Waters got the other 2 for Halifax, and one just before half time and one right on full time. But Matt Robinson did score the Dagenham goal just after the hour for Dagenham. But Dagenham are doing, outside the minute, what Dagenham do, which is, they early threaten, then they take a massive dip, and that is what they're doing again. They're taking an absolute massive dip. But a 3-1 win puts Halifax in 3rd on 50 points. Dagenham are down in 9th now on 42. Still within striking distance. Nothing is confirmed yet. So Dagenham have got to sort of just dust themselves off and go again next week. But a great win there for Halifax, keeps them up in the top 3. The next game, again, you have to feel sorry for Dover, don't you? I had a couple of good messages on my last video from a couple of Dover supporters, and they said how wrong I got the prediction last week. And I put back to them, I basically said, I was pleased to be wrong. And, I'm sure they went in a bit buoyed, knowing they had Southend. But it it wasn't to be. They lost 1-0 to Southend United. The Shrimpers have definitely picked up under their manager, and Hussein got the goal on 72 minutes. They don't make it easy, Dover, do they? They don't make it always easy to get the win, but Hussein with a very important goal, 18 minutes from time. And I think Dover's head just dropped after that. Well, nothing to be ashamed of for Dover. They're definitely going down fighting. They are going down. They are, though, going down fighting. And I knew, Andy Hassenthaler teams, you'll always get a fight from them. But unfortunately, a 1-0 win there for Southend. That obviously puts Southend up a couple of places now, up to 16th. I think they feel a lot more comfortable being now where they are, comfortably in the lower end of mid-table. But, considering the way the season started to where they are now, I'm sure they'd take that. Dover, unfortunately, still bottom, still basically 20 points from safety on -5. Just keep fighting, and I know they'll fight for every single point they can get, but it is looking quite luckless for Dover Athletic. Next we move on to a big win this for Grimsby. Grimsby Town 2, Wealdstone 1. And this was a good performance by Grimsby. It was a performance and sort of result that Grimsby needed, especially after coming off the last two narrow defeats to Bromley and to Wrexham against Wealdstone. Luke Waterfall, they credited getting the goal, the first goal. It was debatable. I thought it was a Fete. Some people thought it was Sean Pearson. Someone thought Waterfall, but it's been credited as Waterfall now with the goal. The Mariners fans will take that will take a result at the minute. The performance was thereabouts, but a bit sloppy at times. Fete did definitely, without a doubt, score the second goal from a great cross in and got a header in there and made it 2-0. But Maskell got a goal back for Wealdstone after a bit of lax play, I have to admit, from the Mariners goalkeeper. And it was nervy towards the end, but Grimsby just held on for a narrow 2-1 win, but a win hopefully that will hopefully try and galvanise the Mariners a little bit. 2-1 there for Grimsby. Next, Sully Hall were at home. They played out Altrincham, and as you heard earlier, it was a 5-0 drubbing. Yes, a 5-0 drubbing, with at the same time Altrincham were down to 9 men at the end of the game. Dallas scored 2. Jamie Osborne with 1. Maycock scored just before half-time. And Barnett finished the rout off on 81 minutes for a very comfortable win for the Moors. And, again, they're another team that's just quietly going about their business. And I always said with Neil Ardley in charge, and I'll always say this, I don't like Neil Ardley. And before any Solihull fans get on my back, I mean that in a good way, not a bad way, in regards to teams don't want to be coming up against Neil Ardley's teams. They are so difficult to beat. and they're becoming more and more ruthless in games. And credit to them, Sully Hall are just inside the playoffs, in 7th after that win, 3 points clear of Notts County and Dagenham, and 5 points ahead of my team Grimsby in 10th. So, they're making they're starting to make splashes, but in a very, very quiet way. They're going about it in a way that, you're not looking at Sully Hall and how dangerous they could be. I mean, they're only, they're not in the top 7 by fluke. They're in the top 7 deservedly. And unfortunately for their opponents, Altrincham, it's another bad defeat for them. They've dropped down to 18th on 26 points. The 10 points clear of Weymouth. I do see them being okay though, but obviously the confidence has really dipped at Altrincham. But a fantastic win for the Moors, and they could be trying to make a late surge, or at least to try and confirm a playoff place. And if they do that this year, well, to me, that's down to the players and Neil Ardley. And because, like I say, Solihull is not an easy place to go. We didn't like it when we went at Grimsby. And, I don't like Neil Ardley. I think a lot of teams that play Neil Ardley's side probably leave the games thinking neither do we. But please, that does not mean I personally don't like him. It's his teams I don't like playing against him, because he always seems to have this plan, and a lot of teams struggle to deal with it. So a great 5-0 win for the Moors there. Next was Aldershot's narrow win over strugglers Weymouth. And actually what made it worse for Weymouth was it was Brandon Goodship's own goal in the 92nd minute. Oh, what a sickener this must have been. Weymouth thought, great, we're going to get a point here. And just some real bad luck for Weymouth. And all I can say is Aldershot are having a good second half to the season. They're 15th. Considering where they were and how they started, that is fantastic. 15th on 30 points. Weymouth obviously in the bottom 3 on 16 points. It's looking tough. They'll be looking above and going, can we try and catch Wealdstone? But getting the points is getting more and more difficult. But it may be a narrow win. Aldershot may need that little bit of luck. With that own goal. They'll take it though. And a great narrow 1-0 win for Aldershot. Next was Woking up against Yeovil. Woking are so hit and miss right now. Woking are so hit and miss. And it was another own goal. Sorry, it wasn't an own goal, apologies. It was Charlie Wakefield that got the goal. Apologies, it was not an own goal. Charlie Wakefield gave him the goal on 15 minutes. But I think where Woking will feel very, very disappointed, Yeovil went down to 10 men for about half an hour or so of the game, and they kept prodding and they kept prodding and they kept prodding, but they could not get an equaliser. And it's very, very frustrating when that happens, especially when, there's a good time to go. If we ran about half an hour before, Little got sent off on 63 minutes for a second bookable offence. So this will frustrate Woking a little bit. They couldn't get the result. They wanted to try and stay as positive as they can or could. They're still in a good place in 13th. Yeovil are now up to 11th. So I think they've got an outside squeak of a playoff place, which were, like I said, they were my outside bets for a playoff place. But you never know, because everyone in this league is taking points off everybody else. More or less by the bottom three at the moment, really. Because the bottom three are being cut adrift. But the rest, everyone else seems to be able to beat everyone else or take points from everyone else. So Yeovil are having a good season compared to what they've lost in the summer. And to be fair, Woking are not having a bad season, but they've just dipped a little bit from their early form. But if I was a Woking fan, I wouldn't be disappointed with 13th at all. And speaking of teams taking points from anybody in this league, we go to Alan Devonshire. And boy, does he prove the point. You know how I said at the beginning of the season that Maidenhead are one of these teams that can get results out of absolutely nowhere. Results that you don't expect them to get. They can spring a surprise. They are, without doubt, underrated in, maybe not in where they finish, but they're definitely underrated in the fact that they are a team you don't want to be going and playing, whether it's home or away. You don't want to be playing them because it could easily go, you could easily drop points. And just ask Wrexham, because they lost Paul Mullin to an early red card on the 4th minute. Hayden did get a goal, the opening goal for them on 17. But Maidenhead, being Maidenhead, waited right till the 92nd minute when Sean McCloskey got an injury time equaliser for Maidenhead to take something away from Wrexham, which no one expected, and it's incredible. Maidenhead are a team nobody likes playing, and I don't think anybody likes playing Maidenhead, because you know that you are in a match with Alan Devonshire's side, and a very, very credible point again at one of the big teams in the league. But I think it'll also keep Wrexham quite level, because they'll think, okay, they've been on a good run recently and got a win midweek, and thinking, oh well, we probably beat a team like Grimsby, and fans are probably thinking, well, it's Maidenhead, it's probably a bank of 3 points. This trouble is, whenever you play Maidenhead, nothing is a guarantee anything, to be honest. So a great draw for Wrexham. Not a great draw for Wrexham, but a smashing grab for Maidenhead in that 1-1 draw. Well done to them. As we see, Wrexham at the minute are in 6th, so they're well in the playoff place. Maidenhead are, well, they're doing the business, really. Another point moves them up a place to 19th. They're on 19th with a minus 19 goal difference, but very, very tough team to beat, and they're showing that. So a bit of a blow for Wrexham, but a great point for Maidenhead. And finally, in this little review, we've got the final game of the weekend, which was Eastleigh 0, Chesterfield 1, and Chesterfield left it so very late. Curtis Weston scored the last minute goal to see off a resilient Eastleigh side, somebody that was again a team that I've got a lot of respect for. I think a lot of teams in the National League have got respect for Eastleigh, and they kept Tishimanga very, very quiet, but again, this is how good of a side Chesterfield are. they're not just all about Tushimanga. They've got quality going through the side, and they know how to win tight games. And this was a very tight game. Eastleigh can feel very, very unlucky, but a 1-0 win for the Spyrites leaves them second, a point behind Stockport, and Eastleigh comfortably mid-table in 14th. This is not a totally bad season for Eastleigh. Obviously, losing their manager a couple of weeks ago was not fantastic, but what we can say about the National League this season, it is so competitive. Anybody can take points off anybody else. That's what's so amazing about this National League. And Chesterfield knew they were in a battle there with Eastleigh, and they got over the line in the end, 1-0. So that is my review of the games for the weekend. What do you guys think of who you support in the National League? What do you think about your results? If you went to your team's games, let me know what you thought and where you think your team is. Are they where you thought they'd be? Are they overachieving what you thought they'd do? Are they underachieving what you thought they'd do? Let me know down in the comments below. Like and subscribe to this channel. It will help me out greatly. And I will see you guys with a preview video, which I will be doing for the next round of games. So do look out for that. But yeah, again, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think and how you think your team seasons are doing. And I'll see you guys very soon.